Very good afternoon, Professor Dr. Siddhartha Ghosh,
Good afternoon,
Principal
sir.
of JT Aviation College, Kolkata, one of the prestigious colleges offering management programs. And today we have decided to have a fireside chat on entrepreneurship. The basic idea is to discuss on different aspects at the same time, pass on the message to the students and those who are interested for the startup. Okay, so this will be kind of inputs for them, and I'm extremely happy on behalf of MTC Global and Global Entrepreneurs Grid to have Professor Dr. Siddharth Ghosh this afternoon. Thank you so much, sir. I welcome you for today's program.
My pleasure, sir. It's a proud privilege to attend and collaborate with you in this session. And it's also an opportunity for me to learn many things from you, one of the established and renowned entrepreneurs, edupreneurs uh, in the domain. And it will be, I hope it will be a very big learning experience for me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. So discussion is always welcome because we learn from each other, and I believe that each one of us, is an entrepreneur in the sense we need to be creative and innovative in whatever we do it. That's why whenever we talk about entrepreneur, we also say entrepreneur. That means individuals, those who are working at the same time are very creative and innovative. Just to start with the subject of entrepreneurship, I think we read a lot of success stories of startups, right? And very often to Facebook, Microsoft, Hewlett Packard. Okay, and in India we have plenty. The Reliance, Tata, and Wipro, and a lot of edutech startups. Those who have become very very successful, like Baiju, okay, the largest edtech company in the world as of now, and it started with no one teacher. So teachers are equally not teacherpreneur. They can also become entrepreneur, and that's something no very very good example for all of us being from the teaching fraternity. At the same time, we see a lot of edtech startups like Unacademy, Udemy, Simply Learn, and those who are doing extremely well, especially during this pandemic time, wherein we need a lot of new skill sets, to mitigate the challenges arising out of pandemic, and those startups are doing wonderful things. But having said that, I think success stories are fine because we learn a lot of things and their struggle. But at the same time, for each individual, it's a different journey. We cannot just no copy paste someone else's success story and see that no we'll also become successful if we follow that path. Okay, but we can take definitely a lot of learnings from the success stories. At the same time, success stories only when they become successful, but before that there are a lot of failure stories as well. So I think failure stories are very very encouraging, and there are a lot of learnings, and we must read, we must look at how those successful entrepreneurs they started their journey, what are the challenges they faced, and during their journey, and how they have overcome those challenges. I think that's to start with is very very important. Now, having said that, I think and today, especially during this pandemic, we see that there are a lot of startup activities as well. One of my friends was talking about there is a lot of startup activities, in especially in manufacturing sector and engineering sector connected with the medical equipments. A lot of new companies have come up. We see a lot of activities in the financial sector, especially in the insurance sector, because of the health issues, and financial sector to provide financial stability to the individuals, because everyone is is under pressure as far as finance is concerned due to this pandemic. A lot of job loss and retrenchment, pay cut, and a lot of things. So these sectors are doing quite well. I think the major hit sector is the travel and tourism sector. I think last year many big hotels were shut down, okay, and travel and tour operators went out of business. Airlines were under tremendous pressure because there was no one to fly the airlines, because the mobility was very very less. I think these sectors, now we can see there is a revival, slowly revival for these sectors Airlines have started their journey, and today morning, no, in the newspaper, it is no, it was there that Canada has lifted no travel ban on India. I think slowly we are moving to a normalcy. But having said that, ICMR and different other bodies, they have already forecasted that it is likely that third wave will come in October. So that's altogether a different issue. But still, I think whenever we talk about entrepreneurship and startup, I think one thing is very important is adaptability and flexibility. Okay, and people say that those who have adapted very fast, okay, they are very successful during this pandemic time. Whether many individuals and consultants, they have come online, many startup activities, those who never had that kind of strong presence on internet, they have come quickly on online and they have started selling their business. I think their products and services, I think that's something very very encouraging for all of us. That's why we talk about no e-entrepreneur, okay, using the e-commerce platform, how we can reach out, because that's the power of internet, which is given to the startup. And today's time particularly, I think using internet, anyone from any parts of India, whether he or she is from a very rural background, it does not matter. If the product and services are good, definitely people will go for it. I think that's it. And whenever we talk about no startups, I think there are a lot of challenges, as we know. But I'll just keep the platform open so that no, I can take some questions from Dr. Ghosh, and slowly we can take forward the session. I think that would be interesting. Yes, Professor Ghosh, please.
Yes, like to start with, it's a very interesting and innovative subject. Means the entrepreneur has full freedom to design his venture as per his requirement, as per his strengths, uh, keeping a tab on his weakness. Uh, Having said that, I would like to request some information on prospective entrepreneurs who want to start their venture, regarding how do they get the government approvals, the licenses, and the banking loan, all these things. Like if you can, like whenever a student or whenever a fresher wants to start a venture of his own, his first thing will be how do I get the seed money. That's number one. First his mind, obviously the idea, he should have his own idea, as we all know. He cannot copy the idea from somebody else. It has to be his own creative act. Now, for the things which will be in his mind is how do I get the sponsorship, number one. Number two, how do I get the licenses? Is there any way I can to go through the process, or who can guide me in the entire process? So these are the things we can start off with. If you can guide us on those areas, and it will I think it will give us a direction, like
Yes,
in
yes,
great
yes,
steps.
yes, definitely. I think, as you rightly said, that one of the concerns, but I know everyone is worried, that's about the fund, okay, and it's the no blood, okay, of any company or any startup. How to raise the fund? Now, this is the most common question, and this is the most challenging area, because many people. But if you look back, most of the startup, successful big companies, they all started with zero, and they have put their own money. Only the funding they got on the later stage when they're going for scaling up of their operation. Okay, by and large, that's the practice. But there is one company which has never taken any funding, and yeah, that company is the Zoho, okay, Chennai based Zoho. And its founder this time, no, he got awarded with Padma Shri, okay, Mr. Vemu. I think he is one of the no role models for entrepreneurs, and he started his business in a very rural area to support the rural economy, to support the no people from the rural sector. I think that's a fantastic model, and everyone appreciates it. But having said that, definitely finance is a big concern. Now, whenever we talk about funding, say funding, there are generally three different kinds of funding. We know one is equity funding, second one is the debt funding, and third one is the grant. Okay, equity funding means we sell some of our shares and stacks. And we'll find out that a lot of time on LinkedIn and the social media, or you get the mail that I am an entrepreneur, I started my business, I'm looking for a co-founder with 50% stake and at least minimum 10 lakhs of investment. Okay, this kind of no messages we often see on LinkedIn and different other professional networks. So I think that's the equity funding, debt funding, which is provided by the bank and the financial institutions. And we have the grant. Sometimes some people can give as an award. Okay, there is no return, we need not pay it. There are many good people around here, and sometimes no, we may meet up. Like in MTC Global, we have no, we had actually one person, Professor Rusi Kumar Pandya. He is no more, and he supported us with some fund in the beginning of our journey because he was impressed with our activities, and he said, okay, Bholanath, I'll give you some funding. So that's the kind of award and the grant. Now in the different stages also, different kind of funding is required, right? If I talk about the ideation stage, or the startup stage, or the scaling up stage, or exit, at the time of exit from the startup business, so there are different stages, and different stages we have different kind of funding requirements. Like in the beginning of the ideation stage, whenever we have an idea, now we want to start a business, most probably no, we look after for fund, and that's our no, what is called bootstrapping. That is called bootstrapping. We need to put our own funds there, or from the family and the friends we can collect some money and put it, just to see that we start our no journey. So that's the initial, the ideation stage. And sometimes we get a lot of angel investors also. People, they have money, they like to invest in the company, they like to support some entrepreneur, and they invest in that. So that is the common kind of funding in the initial stage. But when you go for growth or the scaling stage, I think that time the requirement of fund is huge, because see, no business starts in a big way in the beginning itself. So always at the startup stage, funding requirement will be limited, which we can either get it through bootstrapping or from some angel investors. Okay, that is known as seed capital, popularly in the seed known as seed capital. But major funding is required as growth and the scaling up acceleration stage. I think that time it's very critical, and majority of the startups, they don't reach to the next stage. See, that's another challenge. And statistics says around 95% of the startups, no, they have normal death in the startup stage itself, in the ideation in the startup stage. Okay, because they don't see the growth stage and the scaling up stage, because that's have a different kind of challenge. Many of the successful entrepreneurs, many entrepreneurs, they start their business very well, but when they go for scaling up, that time they get no very tough time, how to scale up business, how to diversify the product and services, how to reach out to the new market, how to collaborate, how to get the new friends or new clients. I think that stage is complete a different stage. But ideation and incubation stage is a complete different stage, and that stage funding is complete different. And that funding is not the huge funding. Like popularly it is said that no, Subrata Roy of Sahara, he started his business with 2,500 rupees. Similar way, Dhirubhai Ambani also started business with a very little capital. All big time entrepreneurs, they started with a very small capital. So that's about the seed and incubation stage. But whenever you talk about the growth, acceleration, or scaling up stage, I think that time the role of no, venture capitalist, popularly these people come into play. If we talk about private investment, but if you talk about government investment, then we have a lot of schemes, okay, promoted by Startup India, okay, wherein we can reach out to the bank or the government institutions for some kind of funding. But there also, it's not so easy to get funding. It's not so easy to get no huge funding from the banking and government institutions. They have their own criteria and the parameters, and you have to make a project presentations, or you have to give some collateral. Okay, whatever it is, those requirements you have to fill it up. But today, if you look at, we see that majority funding is done by the venture capitalist in the growth stage, in the scaling stage. We hardly see any government funding. Okay, whatever in newspaper we see some Chinese no venture capitalist funded no Flipkart, and some Japanese no venture capitalist funded so and so company. So it's more about the venture capitalist. But in the venture capitalist, no, they will not fund so easily, because they themselves are the startups. So we have to pitch in. Okay, you have to pitch in. We have to make our presentations. You have to pitch to them, and if they're really impressed, I think that Vaiju has got a lot of funding. Okay, a lot of funding in the acceleration in the scaling up stage. I think that's the one way when we reach to the growth stage, how to scale it up. That time, the venture capitalists they also look out like Mumbai Angels. Okay, venture capitalist is very popular. Mumbai Angels they give a lot of funding. Likewise, there are a lot of startups in the venture capitalist sector itself. So they are also looking for promising startups wherein they can invest their money and they can also get their return back, because venture capitalist job is not only to give fund, their job is to give technical support and other advisory role. They also take a stake in majority of the cases in your business, and they give full support and they ensure that business get success, because they will get their money back. Okay, generally. And the last stage, what you talk about, the exit stage when startups, and we see a lot of successful startups, they build successful companies, they sell it out. Okay, again they start another startup. Okay, that's a serial entrepreneur, that's become their passion to build and sell. But now if some company wants to, or you can collaborate like 1mg. Suppose 1mg is very popular nowadays because of the lockdown. This online medical companies have become very popular. Now 1mg has a majority stake by the Tata. Now it is renamed as 1mg Tata. Okay, or Tata 1mg. So see, Lal, this exit stage wherein you want to either sell it out or you want to join hands with some company like Tata 1mg. Okay, so that's another mode. And that's another mode is that you sell equity. If your company is doing well and you get registered with the stock exchange, BSE or NSE, therein you can float your stakes, okay, for float your shares, and you can sell it out. That means that is also one kind of exit stage wherein you don't become the owner 100%, because each shareholder has become, no, they become owners of your farm. So that's also options. So in the exit stage, in the growth acceleration or scaling up stage, and in the ideation and incubation stage. So broadly these are three different stages, and each stage has different kinds of challenges and the requirements, and the need for fund is also different. Okay, so to start a business we need to tell all the promising entrepreneurs or the students or individual, those who want to start their business, we need to give them clarity in these three areas, because they are mostly confused, because business starts with zero. Okay, initial stage you don't have that kind of huge requirement until unless you enter into a different kind of project wherein huge fund requirement is there. Okay, but generally always we can start with small business. We can look for some seed capital, that may be bootstrapping or the angel investor, and the later on stage definitely it's about the debt funding from the financial institutions, from the government bank. Okay, and the venture
Yes, sir.
capitalists.
One question. Sorry
Yes,
to interrupt.
yes, please.
Uh, like the traditional approach in India, like earlier, like if you say 1 decade or 2 decades back, people, the prospective entrepreneurs, they used to prefer loan from bank for starting their venture. So can you throw some light on those areas? Like if I go by the traditional approach, or if a student wants to start afresh and he wants to take, he doesn't want to go for take the help of venture capitalist, and he wants to approach a bank. So what will be the various stages of procedure?
Okay. To approach for loan from the bank, okay, there are soft loans are there for the SME sector, small medium enterprise, or anybody wants to start up the business. Okay, and Mudra scheme is also there, which is floated by the government, wherein easy loan no facilities available today. So definitely to start a business, also loan facility is there today also from the bank, but therein no, you have to approach to the bank. You have to submit your project report. Okay, what exactly you want to do, what is your business area, then your projected balance sheet, profit and loss account, all the details like standard no business plan, what we call it in management. So that project report we need to submit. Then experts from the bank they will evaluate, okay, that report. they will call you for the presentations, then they will ask for the collateral, right? In case if your business is not doing okay, they will not simply make it NPA, okay, bad debt, because that's one area everyone is very very worried today, because a lot of no, after the Kingfisher and all those companies went bankrupt, okay, they took loan and they did not repay, and so that's one very concerning area. So they will look for some kind of collateral, and if you can meet the criteria, so definitely there are loan facilities are there in the bank. And as you rightly said, in the conventional mode, whenever somebody wants to start a business, they approach to the bank, and bank also give loan on certain parameters in the criteria met. I think that facility is still available, okay, but only that procedure as prescribed by the bank, we need to follow it. But generally today we see the trend, today's trend, okay, we see that no individual wants to start business, generally they go for bootstrapping. Generally in the initial stage, ideation and the incubation stage, they go for bootstrapping, or they look for co-founders from their friends, and they put the money together and they invest, okay. Then when that idea gets success, or it's converted into product and service, and people like that idea or that product, okay, in that after that, when it starts growing, then they go for the loan from the financial institution, the banking or the venture capitalist. But banking, they don't provide any kind of that kind of consulting support or advisory role. They are just give the payment, and they sit idle and look for their return. But
Oh,
in case of,
that is covered by the VCs, venture
yeah,
capital.
VC they take active interest, because VC themselves are entrepreneurs. They want to ensure that your business gets success, so that they can get the return back,
Okay.
okay, with whatever interest. But VC success rate also in the earlier days was very less, around 20 to 30%. That's what literature it says. So VC also nowadays are very very particular about funding, because they also have that no pitching. They want to do the proper appraisal, and they want to go for the nitty gritty. And if they see that the idea is very very promising, then they will fund it. But today we see a lot of angel investors, a lot of angel investors, they're taking active interest into startups, because many people, they have a lot of money, okay, individuals, they have a lot of money, and they want to invest into some promising business. They want to take a stake in that business, and the business grows, they also grow. I think that's a very popular trend nowadays. I find a lot of my friends, those who started business, they got funding from individuals, the angel investor as seed capital. I think but the idea is, sir, what I believe, no, my belief is that, see, if someone is very, very serious about startup, okay, very, very serious, and
But
he
I
or
think
she wants to,
sound is bit volume is bit low. I
yeah,
don't know.
no, now can you hear me?
Now it's clear. So
Yes.
now it's clear.
No, no. The my belief, what no, I have seen that if someone is really very very serious about no startup, and wants to do something in the startup area, or want to address a real time problem which is existing in the society, I think then fund cannot be a hindrance or limiting factor for that individuals to start business, because people are worried and so much risk aversive. Okay, initially they look for, no, from where we'll get the fund. I think the most common questions whenever we go, I think you have also experienced, okay, whenever you interact with the students or the promising entrepreneurs, immediate the first question is, sir, how to get fund? But fund does not come in the beginning. See, the idea is, fund does not come in the beginning, fund comes on a later stage. But what is your idea, what you want to do, what you want to develop, which problem you want to address, what is your approach, what is your vision, what you want to do 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, okay. I think that is very important. If that clarity, no, if the individual does not have, I think straight away jumping into funding, which is very common. I think, see, if the idea is good, sir, I always believe that funding may not be a problem. That's what I say, that the guiding principle for the startup is start small, scale up fast. Okay, always start small. Don't put a lot of money, because we all are not millionaire and the billionaire. Okay, most of the startups are from the middle class or the normal people. They start their hard earned money, and they put it, invest it, and they take every care, every concern that their hard-earned money does not get wasted. I think there is a lot of attachment and passion when you put our own money into business. That's why I tell the students, don't go for funding in the ideation and the incubation stage. You put your money, then you will have the pain. Okay, you have put your hard-earned money. You will take every care that no, your idea must see the light of the day or will be successful. I think that passion, that involvement, that caring approach is very much required. But the initial stage, if you get some funding, okay, I think that kind of passion may not be there. I think now when someone takes funding, a lot of worries come also with that. Is it not, sir? When we take home loan or housing loan, we pay huge interest, and they're always at the back of our mind. We have to repay how many years? Like all those thoughts will be there. I think initially we need to encourage the students or the individuals, the enthusiasts, that you please come out with a solution for a real problem. And definitely for funding, it will not be any issues. It has never been any issues for any successful startups which are successful today. Okay, they also come across to the same stage and they are successful. I think you are no different. Okay, so you can also come out, you can also, you will also travel the same journey. And when you start that's the problem, is the major inertia is starting up. I think the beginning, the journey itself, lot of challenges, lot of no
Just
queries.
one
Yeah,
question,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, that very point, like what kind of mindset an entrepreneur requires to start a venture to make it successful? Or see, as you said earlier, 90 to 95% startups fail in the initial stage itself. So, if you see the mindset of successful people, successful entrepreneurs, they have that kind of attitude. So what is your take on that, sir? And number one, number two, the COVID last year and this year, 1.5 years we suffered COVID. uh, it was something which was unexpected, and many companies collapsed. So companies which survived, they had that kind of mindset. So to budding entrepreneurs, to freshers, or to people who want to start their own ventures, what do you say on the mindset part?
I think that's a very wonderful interjection. I think the mindset of any entrepreneur. There is a very popular quote: "If your vision is clear, then your passion will drive you towards your objective." I think this is a very popularly said quote in startup parlance. I think the mindset of now we cannot know think that we'll become an entrepreneur and start. Okay, what people they say, but popularly, no, people say that entrepreneurship cannot be caught. Okay, no, it cannot be caught. You cannot train someone to become entrepreneur. That is the saying. But today we see, because of the startup ecosystem, okay, entrepreneurs, many students I've seen, you also might have seen, that they have a lot of innovative ideas, but lot of no unwanted worries like risk. Okay, if they invest their fund, what will happen if their business don't do well, what to get the funding, know how to go about, lot of worries they have. I think because of the startup ecosystem, because we have lot of experienced startup mentors, okay, lot of teachers, those who are from the field of entrepreneurship, they can definitely give right kind of guidance and convert them into entrepreneurs. I think that is possible. Okay, it's not that no, entrepreneurship cannot be caught. It can also be caught, because all of us basically see, we have ideas, we have thoughts, we want to do a lot of things, but many of us, we don't have the clarity. Many of us, we don't have the clarity. Now I think if I would have the clarity during my childhood stage, because I am from the village, no one was there to give the right kind of mentoring, probably I would have done something different, much better. Okay, as today I am, because there was no one. But that's why I think right kind of guidance and approach, that's what mentoring has become so popular. People say, one of my interactions with one professor asked, see, earlier days also there were a lot of successful entrepreneurs. They did not have any mentors. Okay, do you think mentoring is very important? I said, yes. Motivation is very important. It's not just like taking bath. Every day we needs to take bath. So every day we need motivation. And this mentor, they can shorten our journey. They can ensure that our mistakes are reduced or minimized. They can guide us. They can give us the clarity how to go about. Otherwise, which will take lot of, will make lot of learning errors, and that itself is a huge loss for us. Okay, so definitely the startup ecosystem what we have in India at present is very very warm and very active startup ecosystem, and we need mentors, those who have the experience, those who have the right kind of knowledge and the business acumen to guide the enthusiast. I think definitely that will give right kind of impetus in the startup ecosystem. That's why today we have Startup India, Make in India, Digital India, wherein entrepreneurs, then mentor of change by the Niti Aayog. I think they are doing the fantastic job in the school level. Okay, now a lot of the students, they're becoming entrepreneurs at the very early stage. I think that's because of the startup ecosystem we never thought of before. But before, if you look at the past, that time the things were quite different. We didn't have this kind of startups, right? We had only Tata, Birla, Reliance. Okay, we used to have only few names, but today thousands of successful entrepreneurs. Why? Because of the ecosystem. So definitely there is a tremendous role of mentors, and as you rightly said about the mindset, it's more to do with, people say that no, it is more to do with your uh, heart than to your head. Okay, how exactly I feel, okay, whether that feeling comes from within myself or not. Yes, I want to do something offbeat, I want to do something different from the rest, I want to add values. Now there are a lot of entrepreneurs theories also, and one of the famous theories by the Mackilland, and his theory says for NACH, need for achievement. Okay, why people they become entrepreneurs? Because there is a strong need for achievement. There is a strong need that he or she wants to put himself or herself in front of the world. Okay, showcase his or her work, project. So that achievement orientation, so that motivation is very very important. There is a lot of other theories. Okay, X and Y theory, market process theories, a lot of theories are there, but I think Mackilland's need for achievement and Scumpeter innovation theory, I think these two theories are very very popular in the entrepreneurship arena. One is need for achievement, and the second one is the Scumpeter innovation theory. Okay, many people are highly creative, innovative. They want to bring disruption. They challenge the equilibrium. This is happening in this way, why not in other way? And therein they get that kind of the motivation, that kind of urge or drive which comes from within themselves to do something different and add values for the society or for the common people. So if we talk about the mindset is something the people, those who have positive bent of mind, those who want to see the world a better place, those who don't accept the equilibrium or something given as no, let us take it. They want to look at, yes, this can be done in a different way as well, and there is a lot of productivity, there is a less cost involved. That's why whenever we talk about innovative, we talk about the VC analysis, analysis, the value cost analysis, how the productivity output by input, how with lesser input we can increase the productivity, or keeping the input constant we can increase the productivity. That's why BPR, business process engineering, comes. Can we change in the process, can we bring it in the technology, can we motivate the Hertzberg's hygiene theory or Maslow's need theory, can we motivate the people, the hygiene factors, okay, and increase the productivity? Is it possible? Okay, today now there is a lot of debate why we're selling Air India being the national carrier. Okay, and there is a lot of argument in favor and against. Many people say that a lot of the countries they don't have the national carrier, but definitely the Air India is a prestige. Okay, is a legacy because started with GRT Tata, then government of India acquired. Okay, made it Air India. But don't we have that kind of no? We have a lot of smart people, the professionals and the bureaucrats and the government, even in the private airlines. Can they make it a profitable venture? Can't you take it up as a challenge? See, disinvestment and selling out is a very easy option to raise fund. Okay, but keep something and make it a profitable. Navaratan company, PSU sectors. Many PSUs are doing extremely well. Okay, railway is doing better. Okay, the HAL and other they are doing quite well. So why not we can't make Air India profitable? Can we take it as a challenge? as a project to make Air India profitable. Okay, many people they prefer to travel in Air India. Okay, see the major problem in Air India, all they travel in Air India, government official and the staffs. Okay, free of cost. Okay, hundreds of travels. Okay, and they make this automatic. Okay, so I think no, let's everybody pay for Air India. Okay, no give nothing free in Air India. I think a lot of majority government staff they travel by Air India only.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
think
That's
being
true.
from former director of one of the prestigious airlines, okay, you yourself know, okay, and you have better idea, okay, the behind the Air India story. I think no. Now I put a questions to you. Okay, can we make? Is it possible to make Air India profitable? One. This is my question to you because you are the former director of famous airlines.
Yes, as I'll take your point. First of all, the services should not be free. Like as you said, the many people that are getting the privilege of traveling free and they are taking the benefits. So that should be on a payment basis. It should be on a chargeable basis. Number one. Number two, the kind of network, the kind of what do you say, the slots is something which is basically the timing of the flights. Like premium airlines is premium flights, they get the approval from government uh, for the premium slots. Say for example, Bangalore is a IT hub in India, and many IT professionals they travel to Bangalore, and they travel so frequently they don't prefer to stay overnight in Bangalore, because maybe 3 times a week they have to travel to Bangalore. So what they prefer is early morning flight they'll take, and they reach Bangalore, do their meetings and all, and by the last flight to Calcutta they'll come back. So these passengers they prefer the early morning flight. These are the slot flights. The Calcutta, Bangalore, Calcutta, Bombay. These are the slot flights, early morning flights, 6 o'clock, 6:15. Because these flights will never go this. It will be a sellout flights. These slots are normally given to premium airlines. The permission has to be taken from the government, and the government will give permission to only the premium carriers, efficient carriers. Air India, they have the slots, and because it's a legacy airline, national airline, and that's a pride of Indian aviation. Air India, maybe they are having losses and all, but always remember Air India is a government undertaking, and they don't run for business, they don't run for profit, they are mainly for the service of the nation. That's the reason why in last 1.5 years there have been so many repatriation flights from all over the world, and none of the private airlines can do that, because that kind of infrastructure, that kind of support, that kind of logistical strength only Air India has. Maybe other airlines do also have, but uh, they are the premium carrier. So coming to the question of privatization or making them profitable, yes, they have to. The protection has to be removed. Like currently, the protection is given to Air India. They should compete in the open market like the private carriers, or like the foreign airlines who are operating in India, like Qatar Airways or Emirates Airline. They should be made competitive, and they have all the infrastructure to make the company profitable again. So that's something which is a very challenging step, but again, can it is achievable if proper steps are taken. It can be done over a period of time. That's one thing, and same applies to any of the businesses also. Every time there will not be hunky dory rides. There will be ups and downs. So the entrepreneur should know that, okay, this is the time I should be careful. Like this is like the COVID times. Nobody expected this sort of challenge will come up in industry, in any of the industries if you see. But people who survived, the companies which survived, they had that kind of backup in mind, that in case of any exigencies, emergencies, this is how we will. They had plan B in mind always. But see, at this point, the existing companies, they are not always planning to expand. They are mainly targeting to survive and stay afloat in these current times. And now, since if I'm not wrong, third wave will not, as the experts are saying, it will not be that dangerous. So maybe the industry will come back to normalcy within couple of months, or maybe by the beginning of next year. So if things are like this, or if it moves at this pace, so that's what I have to say.
Okay, wonderful input. Now, the next the question was during this pandemic, especially as you said, during this pandemic, a lot of companies were shut down. Okay, and no, many companies they could come out successfully, but many are shut down. That's true, because this particular pandemic is not no specific to only India or a particular sector. It is around the world, and it has impacted the business owners also, customers also, clients also. Okay, so everyone
Is
has got
affected, yeah.
the effect of this pandemic. So this situation is very indifferent, and we never thought of this kind of situations, and many business they could not survive because this was such a prolonged, okay, longer period of time, and they had to force come out of the business. But big businesses they could survive. Okay, in Karnataka, around 250 schools were shut down, and these schools are not no having huge number of students. Okay, less number of students, though they could not survive. But schools having more than 1000, 1500 students, no, they could survive well, and they're doing well present. So I think no, and this is about the business continuity. Okay, and the world has never faced this kind of situation for such a longer time, and there is no written document also you don't have in project management or otherwise. Okay, how to become resilient during a long turbulent times when everyone is impacted, economy is not doing well, and laid off, unemployment, okay, and tough time all around the world. Okay, how companies should survive. Now many companies you have seen they have laid off the employees. Many people are roaming with placard, I'm unemployed, and all you have seen in newspaper it was there. And job cut, okay, the salary cut, huge salary cut, and still it is continuing in many places. I think that's how, because it's not about only India, because US wherein the IT
Everywhere, yeah.
companies they have their majority major offshore project, they are also businesses has equal kind of same kind of situation. So it's all around the world, and probably this particular experience what we have been doing for last 1.5 years, how to become resilient and how to come out with this stressful time. This will help us in the future time, in case of any similar kind of situation. Probably we'll have uh, there is a flying here. uh, Probably we can have some inputs on how to float or come out of this kind of long recession or in the long pandemic situation when everyone is affected, and economy and job market and everything is not doing so well as expected. But majority big companies they have survived, but small companies they got the huge impact because they don't have that kind of capital to pay out the employees and to sustain, to float. Because I have one of my friend in Kharagpur, and he was telling that his business, the majority product he is to export to the other countries. But as there was no business, international business due to the pandemic, so for last 1 year, no whatever he manufactured that got stocked in the warehouse, and a lot of capital was locked up, and he could not pay to the employees because there was no working capital, no fund. And moreover there was no okay, so that's there was no working capital to manage the situation, so they had to shut down the operations for a few months. I think this may be the similar kind of situations for other companies as well. But FMCG goods, they have done quite well. FMCG goods, fast moving consumer goods, actually they have seen huge growth during last no during the pandemic time, because the necessity goods, okay, the daily used goods everybody needs. And other sectors also, IT sectors, edtech sectors, as I said, the insurance and financial sectors, they have done well. But manufacturing sectors they did not do quite well. But medical equipment manufacturing
Yeah.
sector did very well. Okay, hotel, travel, tourism, tour operators, okay, they suffered a lot. But slowly no business is coming back. I
Yeah,
think,
that's true.
yeah, yeah, please.
One more thing, um, like last few years, 4 5 years, government has encouraged youngsters, or has been encouraging the youngsters quite a lot to start up their own venture. Like the concept is, uh, uh, be an employer, not employee. So that's something. Be an employment generator, not a, like that kind of concept which has come up, like the platforms like where you are also associated, the Atal Innovation Mission and Startup India mentorship uh, uh, programs. So can you guide us on that, like how government is encouraging youngsters to get into the entrepreneurship field, what kind of support they are giving to youngsters and freshers who are just fresh out of college or school or high school. So if you can share some thoughts on that.
Yes, I think there is a no huge sea change in the way government or present government is working, and today we find that there is no Atal incubator, and huge funding around 10 crore rupees is given to the college, engineering colleges and universities to start the incubator, and otherwise all business schools and all colleges they have the ED cell. We have the private incubator also, and wherein no, if one person wants to become business, he can make use of that particular service. And the college also, they are opening up their incubator to the outside, no, people, those who can come and sit there and incubate their ideas. I think this is a very very huge positive change, and the government started the Startup India. There, if the company is registered, that company can get certain benefits in terms of mentoring and in terms of access to the fund and the project. Okay, all details are there in Startup India website. Government has started with Digital India. I think that's also then the Atmanirbhar Bharat, wherein government is encouraging people to come out with their own ideas and thoughts. Okay, I think these are some of the fantastic, and we see that in the old days, okay, and the present context. If you just compare, you will find out that we see a lot of students, especially engineering and the management programs. Okay, they are launching their business in the college itself. Okay, and they are not looking for the job. The conversion rate, especially know what we read in newspaper in IIMs and all, that has gone manifold high. But in the tier 2 and tier 3 engineering and the management colleges, we don't see that kind of no paradigm shift, but definitely we see that there is an ecosystem created, an infrastructure created, incubator, business plan, startup mentoring, okay, project presentations, elevator pitch. A lot of initiatives are taken by the colleges today, and UGC and AICT, they are encouraging, supporting the initiatives. They are also supporting teachers to get involved into the incubator. I think there is a okay positive okay things, positive vibes, positive energy today what we see in the college environment. And definitely this will help, as you rightly said. No, students should not be job seeker, they should be job provider. But we could see that no, this trend is happening fast, but it will take some more time to get settled down. But already there is a change in the mindset, what people never thought of, but now they are started thinking at the college itself. And if the 4 years engineering program, okay, students can incubate at second year, probably by fourth year, once he or she goes out, he can float his or her company. I think that kind of motivation, that kind of encouragement, we need to give it as a teacher. We need to give it to the students so that they get the confidence. Okay, it's also more about the confidence. Many students, they don't have the confidence. There is no one to guide them properly. Okay, and because of that, many people they don't get into the startup ecosystem. But I think definitely with the support of the government, with the positive environment created, the infrastructure created by the government, definitely we can see that in the coming days there will be a lot of successful entrepreneurs coming out of the college, and many are not looking for the jobs. And that's an wonderful no initiatives by the government. And the teachers and the academic institutions are also very proactive to this, and they're also giving their best to ensure that some of the students, they become the successful entrepreneurs. Yes.
So it was quite a informative session. It's interesting and enjoying your session very much. I
I
think
am also
it's a
learning a
good
lot of things from
session.
you because you are an experienced person. You were former director of Airlines and now principal of JT Aviation
Thank
College.
you, sir.
A lot of consulting and research experience. I think we need to discuss more, interact more, and we need to pass on this message, this interaction, discussion through video, through YouTube, and through other professional sites, so that we can do a little bit of service to the youngsters or the
Yeah,
startup
that's true.
enthusiast. Yes, please.
So one area which I was just going, like I was studying from my side as a, maybe as a researcher, you can say, the OPC concept, one person company concept. So how what is it? What how does it work?
Yeah, one person company. It is recently, I think 4 5 years back, only government of India they started this concept of one person company. No, here in earlier days there is no sole entrepreneur, proprietor. What do you call proprietor? Okay, then comes your partnership or limited liability partnership (LLP). Then comes your private company. Okay, the private registered private limited company. Then it becomes public limited. Okay, that's a different criteria, but generally this no proprietorship, then LLP, then comes your private limited company. This different format. Then we have the trust, we have the societies and associations. Okay, those are non for profit, and we have one non for profit company also under Companies Act 25. Okay, which is registered as a company, can enjoy the company of private limited, but that basically a non-for-profit company. Okay, registered as a company, but otherwise non-for-profit organizations and NGOs and trust and charitable societies, associations, those are different. Okay, there's a purely non-profit, and registration is also no with sub-register office, but otherwise no this proprietorship and partnership also with the sub-register office, but private limited you have to do with the no MOC. Okay, so I think OPC is a no of late is a not a very old concept. OPC, like the proprietorship and the LLP, they have certain limitations. Okay, they have certain limitations which private limited company they don't have. Okay, number one. So to bridge in this particular gap, government of India, they started this OPC one person company, wherein if I want to start a business, I can register my companies as an OPC, wherein I can become director, and I have to select another person as an individual director. There has to be minimum two directors. Okay, so that can be, she can be my wife or
So
he
in
can be my
OPC,
friend.
sorry, sir. In OPC, there has to be minimum two directors. That's
Two
what.
directors, two directors. OPC, two directors required. One is the owner, and he has to get another individual director on the board. So OPC company, they enjoy the facilities of private limited company, but still it's a kind of proprietorship, still kind of proprietorship. Okay, it's not a private limited, exactly private limited company, but in terms of privileges and advantages, there are certain challenges are there. But OPC company later on it can be converted into a private limited company also. So many people, they nowadays we could see that many people, they instead of proprietorship or the this LLP, they prefer to start with OPC with one individual director because it enjoys the advantage of private limited company. So with certain limitations, but later on it can convert into the private limited company. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Please.
I have one question, sir. Now, like the entire world is stuck up, or is suffering, or is being, what do you say, dislodged because of COVID-19 pandemic. Most of the people, their lives are upset. Their life is up and down, and they're struggling. Like even normally we can't go out of home also, or even if we are going to office, mostly we are working from home, or even the teachers, they are doing the classes online from home. Sometimes they are going to the college, office, schools, like this. So there are a lot of restrictions because of COVID-19, the pandemic. So for a youngster who has just completed his studies as a fresher, how uh, what are the opportunities for him if he starts his venture online, to be in the nascent stage? So what is your suggestion on
Yes,
that?
I think that itself no is a wonderful question. I think there's a huge world of possibilities today. because every one of us know we have our online presence, whether it's rural area or urban or city area across the world. Now we have become truly global e-village. What we talk about global village, now today we are truly global village because every one of us have presence online. I have seen that you also must be know aware of. Today we could see that there are no thought leader, there are influencer, no new word influencer. Those who have they are very strong followers in Instagram or in the YouTube. They become overnight influencers. They endorse lot of brands. They earn huge amount. Some YouTubers they earn huge amount, right? So now using Facebook group, Facebook page, people are doing wonderful business. They're selling their handicrafts, saris, and a lot of other stuffs. Their Facebook live is free. Every day they are coming Facebook live in their group. They have no lakhs of group members, and they're selling their products and services in a very simple way. I'm talking about, because today technology is available, and many technology is free of cost. Some people have their very strong presence, in LinkedIn, very strong followers in Twitter, in Cool, and they are able to know have their thoughts put across to the people. I think today there is a huge opportunities to start business online, okay, any business. But the big challenge is for the product based companies, the logistic part, okay. But luckily we have a lot of e-cuts also, lot of starts up. They have entered into the logistic and supply chain, okay, through e-cart. So you need not worry. Like the e-kitchen, no kitchen in the cloud, because of Zomato and Swiggy, we could see that small time, no hotels. Now they're earning huge amount, and Zomato and Swiggy made huge profit during this pandemic because people did not go out for dining. Everybody used to place order from this Zomato and Swiggy, and they made a huge profit. And this, they are also COVID warriors, okay. The salespeople or those who come and deliver the foods to our doorstep, I think they are also COVID warriors. They have done wonderful jobs, okay. And these people never thought of that. Some people know they cook in their home, at their home, and they're selling through Zomato and Swiggy, and they're used to make a lot of money. People never thought of this will happen. Now to name like Dunzo application, okay, very popular application nowadays. You forget something, you just log into Dunzo, and the people will come and take it and give it to your friend's house. So you need not do anything. So everything and anything is possible today to do online business. I think online has huge opportunities for each one of us. That's why today there is so much focus on no digital transformation. Now digital transformation, many people they do mistake. They think that to have only know a website is about becoming online. Business is not like that. Is about user, okay, user experience, okay. How better user experience you can give it to your customers in terms of placing order, in terms of tracking order, in terms of registering their grievances, in terms of delivery of products, in terms of return of product or exchange of product in case product is not doing good. Because a lot of people through popular e-commerce portals, they have a lot of grievances because they ordered for something, something came. Now it took a lot of time to exchange that or return that. I think those things should not be there. So what user experience you give, I think the whole world is under your feet today because of the internet and the huge presence of this smartphone, okay. I think it's today, and we see that lakhs of applications today in the Google Play Store, okay. So huge popularity and the huge opportunities for each one of us, okay. If you can really identify a niche area and see that there is some problem or challenges, if you want to address that, so definitely there is a huge opportunity. I think no, we'll take it up, sir. This is a particular question will continue to our part two in the next no fireside chat. I think so we can elaborate a little bit more on the digital space, digital marketing, and digital transformation. How exactly no startups they can take benefit out of it. I think it was wonderful interaction, a lot of learning from you as well. Dr. Ghosh, and very pleasure to have you this afternoon with you. Now, your concluding remarks, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, MTC Global. It was a, big learning experience for me as a teacher, as a student, as a researcher, as someone who have been learning from you for so many years. I've been associated with MTC Global from 2009 onwards, right from the inception, and I have benefited a lot. I have benefited as a lot as a member, and it's a learned community which has been serving the society for a very long time and in a very cost effective and efficient way. So hats off to you, sir, for leading the movement, and I'm really proud and honored to be part of this fireside chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day. Thank you.
Have a good day.